Have you ever found yourself in that situation where you realize you're always the one giving in? That feeling is just exhausting, isn't it? Always being the one to compromise just to keep things smooth. Well, today we're going to unpack that exact dynamic and get to the bottom of why it happens.
Does this phrase ring a bell? It's one of those things that sounds like it comes from a good place, but man, it can carry such a heavy weight. It leaves you feeling all tangled up, confused, guilty, even a little pressured. Suddenly, a simple disagreement isn't simple anymore. It's a question of how much you love or appreciate someone. So, why? Why does it always feel like you're the one backing down? You're just left there, wrestling with this messy mix of anger and guilt, and this nagging feeling that what you want just doesn't count. It is so draining. Okay, let's dive in and figure out what's really going on here.
This whole feeling is usually a sign that you're caught in what we can call the for your own good trap. And to really get what that means, let's walk through a story that I think is going to hit home for a lot of you.
So let me tell you about Zhao Zhao. She's always been the good girl, you know? Even now, as a grown woman with her own family, she just wants to live her own life, but she keeps getting pulled back in by her mother's emotions. Every time she tries to do her own thing, she's hit with this wall of disappointment, which makes her feel instantly guilty, like she's the one who's done something terrible.
So get this. One day, her mom comes over and gets really upset because Zhao Zhao doesn't have her wedding photo hanging on the wall. She starts saying her daughter's life is a mess. The criticism just keeps coming until Zhao Zhao finally breaks down in tears and says, "This is my home. I want to arrange it my way." And her mother's response? More tears, and that classic line, "I'm only doing this for your own good. Who else cares about you like I do?" And here's the kicker. Even though Zhao Zhao was the one who got hurt, she ended up feeling like a sinner. She felt this overwhelming guilt for making her mother sad, this feeling of being a bad daughter. And it totally steamrolled her own feelings of being attacked in her own home. How does that even happen? Well, it turns out there's a pretty sneaky psychological game going on here.
What's so fascinating is that psychology actually has a name for this invisible force that causes so much pain. It's a pattern, and trust me, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Okay, the term is projective identification. I know, it sounds a little academic, but the idea is actually pretty simple. Basically, one person, the controller, has some kind of anxiety or feeling they just can't deal with. So, without even realizing it, they project it, kind of like throwing it onto someone else. Then, that other person identifies with it. They catch that feeling, absorb it, and start to believe it's theirs.
This slide breaks it down perfectly. You've got two roles in this game. On one side, there's the controller, in this case, Zhao Zhao's mom. She's projecting her own anxieties, thinking things like, my daughter has to live by my rules, or if she doesn't listen to me, it means she doesn't love me. Then on the other side, you have the controlled, Zhao Zhao. She identifies with those projections and internalizes them. She starts believing, mom's disappointment is all my fault, and it's wrong for me to resist her.
And here is the absolute heart of the matter. While it might be disguised as love or care, this whole dynamic is really about control. Now, that doesn't mean the person is evil. Often, the controller is just trying to manage their own inner chaos, their own fears and insecurities, by making sure the people around them stick to a script that makes them feel safe.
So let's look at how this plays out. Because this hidden game isn't just about parents and kids. It shows up in all sorts of relationships, and it's usually hiding in plain sight.
Think about a romantic relationship. Your partner might get upset that you don't just magically know what they need. What they're really projecting is the idea that if you truly loved me, you'd be able to read my mind. And since you can't, you're left feeling like you failed some huge, unspoken tests of your relationship.
Or, how about this one? In a friendship, a friend might be projecting their own neediness onto you. The hidden message becomes, a really good friend would be there for me 24/7. You weren't, so you must be a cold, uncaring person. And bam, you're hit with a wave of guilt, wondering if you're actually a bad friend. This even happens at work. A coworker might lay on the flattery while projecting a ton of responsibility onto you. They're basically saying, if you say no to this extra work, you're proving you're not as responsible as everyone thinks you are. And how are you supposed to say no to that? The reason this stuff is so hard to see clearly is because the control is so cleverly disguised. It's wrapped up in things we value, like love and caring and responsibility. Who wants to be the person who pushes back against someone who says they care or who questions being called responsible? That disguise is what makes the trap work so well. But when you strip away all that packaging,
The message underneath is always the same. It's a deep, powerful need from the controller for you to fit into their world, to play the part they've written for you in their head.
So, the big question, right? How do you break free from this cycle? It's not about trying to win an argument or making the conflict bigger. It's actually about just stepping out of the game. And there's a really clear 3-step way to do it.
First, you have to identify the game. See the projection for what it is, their anxiety, not your failure. Second, you have to consciously stop that automatic reaction. When that wave of guilt washes over you, just pause. See it as part of the dynamic, not the truth. And third, reconstruct. This is where you gently but firmly take back the pen. You get to decide if you are a good daughter, a loving partner, or a responsible person. And please remember this, because it's so important. The goal here isn't to prove them wrong or to win some big battle. The goal is simply to stop playing the game. It's all about protecting your own peace of mind and taking back your own life.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one last question to really think about. In your relationships, in your life, who's holding the pen? Are you letting other people write your story with their anxieties and expectations? Or are you the one defining who you are?